that loss didn't mean anything at all.
Okay,
You can
okay,
even find the words,
okay,
man.
okay. Let's say you went out the rest of the year, and so does everybody else. You're not getting that championship game.
Well, we know that's not gonna happen, though, Dre. So we don't have to worry about that.
See,
Don't we
why
see?
Alabama fans?
Don't we see this every year? Nick Saban and them lose at least a game like this every
No,
year.
no,
So
we
let's
don't
say
see this.
This is not the first time, Jay.
Mississippi State has thrown a wrench in the team trying to go perfect or just be a one loss. They did it to Florida when Tim Tebow did the speech game. It was against Mississippi State. Mississippi State does have the ability to quiet Alabama. They do have it in them. That still is the SEC too.
You got to remember too. This Mississippi State team went to Cal Field and beat Texas A&M in Cal Field.
Well, all I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna hop off here because unfortunately I have to go to work. I want to say this one more time. Roll.
Anyway, this is my show.
That sounds like an Alabama
fans,
fan.
man. I love them. I love them.
You guys have a good rest of your day.
Those darn Alabama fans, y'all.
But you notice about Freddie, our president. He's got the Lakers. The only team that's really losing in his whole repertoire is the Giants. But then he makes up with the Green Bay Packers with the Aaron
Green Bay
Rodgers.
Giant fan.
Green Bay and a Giants.
He's a Green Bay Giant fan.
Yeah,
that's what we call them, the Green Bay Giants.
So anyway,
giant cheesehead.
So what's going to take Mississippi State to beat Alabama today?
Oh man,
a miracle.
Yeah, they got to play football. Everybody got to be all in, have each other back. They got to get like the Disney movie part, the inspirational sports part of the movie. When you know the team's about to be triumphant, they do a turnaround. It's that pivotal point of the day. They got to be that way the entire game to take the air out of the ball for.
They got to play like Remember the Titans.
But if they do it, they're gonna destroy that damn field.
Yeah, they need to call Rudy. That's what they need to call.
Speaking of Rudy, the greatest sign I've seen at College Game Day a few years ago. Somebody held up a sign that said Rudy was offsides. Man, I laughed so hard.
You know that it's going to cost. Does Mississippi State have that $100 million that it cost? The Texas A&M when they rushed the field last week. Does Mississippi State have that kind of money?
Listen, don't let Mississippi the state fool you. There's some money down there. There's old money down there. Old, rich, long money down there.
Yeah.
They can pay.
Yeah, no, they're gonna need a miracle. They're gonna need a miracle. It ain't happening.
I don't see it. If Alabama come in here the way I think they're gonna come in here, and let's be real, coming off of a loss, and it's still October. Nick Saban knows. They got to be in that pivotal point for that bowl matchup or BCS. However it's going to match up for them. They want to be in that top contender spot. So Bama's going to come out trying to destroy them. You've seen Alabama practice before. I know you have. They try to break your damn head, and they teammates. So imagine what they'd try to do to the opponent today. But if Mississippi State can go out here and get that unconventional turnover, get a pick six, do a scoop and score, hurt the quarterback.
Yeah.
The hidden intangibles of the game. They can do that. Oh, boy. Hold on.
Yeah.
And it's going to be your phone going to be going off, bright red screen on the bottom of the TV, breaking news. There's no tide left in the road.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing, man. I understand where the Alabama fans are used to winning, but be realistic. That game meant a lot. It's too early on in the season. Alabama can't take 2 losses.
No, not in October. No.
And the BCS is not. That. And the BCS is not built around Alabama. So you lose and you're out, bro. You're out. Call it what you want. Complain like the rest of us.
There, if they don't do it.
It is, but complain like the rest of us.
Something like you mentioned when you first got on today. You want to see something different. Bring somebody else in our home. Let me find out about this school a little bit more.
Yeah. No, Ohio State, no Alabama, and if Oklahoma keep looking the way they looking, no Oklahoma. It might be the Penn State. It might be a Michigan. It might be a Iowa and
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
How about Wake Forest?
Stop it.
Man, you should have said Coastal Carolina.
Yeah,
I mean, Wake Forest is right now undefeated in the ACC.
They
the only
doing
undefeated team in the ACC.
But I don't think they're gonna be. Nah, I couldn't even see that W.
That's good for that football program. That's good for that football program.
I mean, if you look at it, they still got a few ranked teams left to play. They still got North Carolina State is ranked number 22 in the nation. They're number 19 in the nation. So I mean, you still got some ranked teams to play, and then they got the ACC thing. Is the ACC going to be left out of the bowl picture this year? The playoff picture this year. It'll be the first time. It'll be the first time since the playoff started that the ACC team was left out.
Yeah, no, they're going to be left out.
Last year was kind of rough though. That was different football last year. I'm surprised those kids and coaches made it through and the conditions they had to go through just to be on the field. But this year, if the ACC keep playing the way they're playing, they could possibly be in that conversation and be in a matchup.
I think Wake Forest is really helping them because the ACC is looking rough the last couple years.
Yeah.
So I mean, but to me, in this Alabama and Mississippi State, does this game feel that Alabama's going to come out and probably put 35 in that first quarter?
I think that, yeah.
I think if you go to the bathroom,
you're going to miss it.
You're going to miss 3 scores probably. That's how fast he's going to try. He's going to try to do some Chip Kelly shit. How fast-paced the game is going to be. I'm telling you, right. This dude is going to be methodical. He may call defensive plays today. He may take over the defense too. That's how mad this man is.
So what you're saying? So Dre, let's take this analogy a little bit different here. You say if you go to the bathroom, like people went to the bathroom and Tyson Spence fight, and that was over by the time you come out. Is this game going to be over by the time you come out?
To the morale of the team, to the players on the opposing side, yes.
They might return the kickoff.
Is this Mississippi State homecoming?
I don't think so.
No,
I think it's I think this homecoming week. I think because last week was Florida's homecoming, so I'm thinking it's their homecoming today. But either or, homecoming ain't gonna be so sweet. Not gonna be so sweet.
No, their homecoming is November 23rd.
Oh, 23rd. Damn, that's a late homecoming.
Yeah. They play Abilene Christian. They made sure they was going to have a win on the homecoming day.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
That's messed up.
Bobby Hill going to play on that damn team.
So who y'all got in this ball game? Y'all got Alabama?
Always.
70-3.
Ooh, goodness. I'm gonna give him a little bit. I'm gonna say it's gonna be 48 to 3. No, I'll give him 48-7.
I was saying about 80 to 10 myself.
Wait a minute, what's Mississippi State coach name?
Mike Lynch.
Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. Hold on. He's not your typical type of coach. When he talks to his team, they have no clue what he's talking about. He does the Jedi mind trick.
He
talking about everything but the game.
Hey, I seen him on the college football morning show like last year, I think it was. I understood absolutely nothing that he was talking about.
You don't.
Nothing.
People I didn't do that. You down there, but I don't know what y'all.
He talks about everything. Eagles flying, the river running the wrong way.
But Mike Leach is funny. He is funny. But hey, guys, I got to get up out of here. Hey, I appreciate y'all letting me on this morning with y'all.
Appreciate it.
It's been good, Jay. It's been good talking about your Arizona State when we put them on the show and stuff, and they actually win when we put them on the show.
I love me some Herm Edwards, man.
So me too, man. That's my dude right there. Him and Marvin. Yeah, but no, I'm gonna link up with you guys again.
Okay.
All right, man. It's been good.
Yes, sir.
Enjoy your weekend.
You enjoy. All right, Dre. So we had we had some good conversation there with Jay and Freddie jumping on. Let's get back to the breakdown of our college football show here. So we're gonna do some time constraints here. We're gonna rush through some of these and finish picking out our 12 o'clock games and then pick some of our 3:30 games, and we'll get to the Georgia and Kentucky game is our game of the week. So you ready?
Yep.
All right, Michigan State and Indiana. Who do you have?
I can't put my personal feelings. I gotta stop that because I don't like Michigan State for other reasons, but I'm gonna pick Michigan State to win this game.
Now, to me, let me talk about that because I have the same thing. Michigan State winning this. Indiana did good last year. Was it because of the COVID-19?
I mean, some players perform better last year as opposed to this year without fans and with fans. They were explaining that through a breakdown on a piece earlier this year on one of the sports shows I watch on how that is affecting certain athletes with the fans and without fans. And I think Indiana was one of those teams that really benefited from not having the fans there. You know, they could it's a different feeling when you don't have all that noise around you. It's easy to block things out and just concentrate on the game. But I don't see that big of a difference in the jump of last year to this year play when it comes to Indiana. I mean, they still run the ball, still got a pretty good defense.
I mean, they got the same quarterback. They got almost the same team.
Do they?
From last year.
I thought they lost a few people.
They might have lost a few people, but they still got the key point in contact, the quarterback.
All right. That's the bump they ran into this year, trying to go off and play like they did last year is not working.
Yeah.
I still got Michigan State winning this, though.
Yeah, I did too.
Like Indiana.
How about Auburn and number 17, Arkansas? In Fayetteville.
Arkansas is still mad about that Alabama game. I mean, that Georgia game. I think they still feeling the bruises from that game. I don't think they've healed completely yet. And this could be a great time for Auburn to get ready for Bama by actually playing this game like they're playing Bama. Yeah. So I got Auburn winning this game.
You got Auburn winning this one in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
There it is. Fayetteville. Augusta in the building.
Well, I think I'm going to go with Arkansas with this one because they're playing at home. They've been pretty good at home this year. I think they're still looking at wounds from Georgia because when you get hit by that Georgia defense, you're getting hit by real men.
Man.
So, I mean, to me, I think that Georgia defense looks like some sort of like that Alabama defense with Kirby Smart and, you know, the philosophy that Kirby Smart had and stuff like that. I think everybody was listening. I think he had his team listen to where everybody was saying about Arkansas, and they just came in there and smacked Arkansas around. I mean, that was just totally domination by Georgia, but I think Arkansas gets back on the winning track, even though they lost to Ole Miss by 1 point last week. I think they get back on the winning track against Auburn. How about your number 20, Florida Gators going into – they consider this the real Death Valley of LSU. Is this going to be the year that, you know, when they went to LSU at one time and played in I guess the hurricane forced them to play that game down at LSU and Florida just dominated that game? Do you see a Florida domination?
I hate that this matchup is not – LSU is not as strong as everybody think they are this year due to what's going on with the coaching situation there, because we know Ed Ogeron is going to be out when the season ends. So I don't think the focus of the football program is where it needs to be. And I think considering we already have 2 losses, the inability to move the ball, the play calling in the red zone, that is like a huge, huge disparity with the Florida football Gators to me. That is something that needs to be fixed right now. Not next year, but right now they need to figure that out. I just don't understand how they become so stagnant in the red zone so much this year. What is going on with that? That is really bothering me. This is a winnable game for both schools, but LSU is not that strong this year. And Florida's defense is a little bit better than LSU's defense coming in this game. But LSU does make great substitutions and adjustments with their secondary, and that scares me. But if we go in here with a 2-headed monster with our quarterbacks, I think we could create some excitement, get some big plays, and really utilize having the ball on the offensive side.
Yeah, I look at a couple of things here for Florida, and you mentioned something about the red zone and all that stuff. What else I mentioned about Florida here is too, I watched that Florida and Kentucky game. I watched it from the beginning to the end. That's one of the games I picked this year to watch full games and stuff like that. But it's because the intriguing of the 36 wins out of 34 wins out of 36, tries for Florida. Going into that home battle in Kentucky, Florida has not lost in Kentucky since 1986. And when the game got tight and the game got to fight, Florida looked like they tensed it up a little bit of time. What can the coach do to get this team not to tense up in key moments? Because in their 2 losses this year, they have tightened up in key moments.
Ideally, I really think this happens. I really do believe this. I think coaches watch the previous week game film to talk to the team. They got to put out there, play disciplined football. We have too many penalties, way too many penalties, way too many, especially on the offensive side in that Kentucky game. That was just horrible. So if they practice that discipline on the field, that could help the team. That got to change big time. And that play call in the red zone, if that does not improve, we cannot win this game by kicking field goals. We got to get in the end zone, that being Florida. If we don't get in the end zone, LSU going to have a field day with us.
Yeah, I agree with you and 2 things about this Florida and the LSU game. It's playing in LSU. Ed Orgeron's probably on his way out. Now, my question to you is, do we see Ed Orgeron come out in overalls with no shirt on like the guy in Waterboy?
No, I don't think that. I wish they mic him up because he sounds like the coach in Waterboy to me. But I love Ed Orgeron. It's a very touchy situation why he's being let go. But, hey, that's how the things work. That's how it works now. So it's no surprise to anybody that that's taking place. But I don't see him doing anything to inspire the LSU football team because there's too much going on behind the scenes. We're just going to go ahead and finish this year out. Maybe the other coaches can do a little bit more because they know the big man is leaving. His words are not as strong as if he was staying there. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you know this person is leaving, you're not going to put all that energy into them. So we got to listen to you. So maybe if the other coaches step up and talk to the kids, maybe that can change the tempo, the game of play, the state of play, their style of play.
I mean, Ed Orgeron is a LSU alumni.
Yeah.
And I don't know why his inspiration has not really been since they had that one good team. Was that now my question to you, when they had that good team with Joe Burrow and all that, was the offensive coordinator running that team more than Ed Orgeron?
You got to look at the players that they had. Then. You lose those players. See, the college football window is very small. You got to, when you can notice the talent that you have and utilize it and win, do it. Do it. And they knew they had that small window. LSU knew it. But my thing is, you got to recruit. So you knew what was coming in behind that class. So that goes on coaching. You didn't develop these guys, but you developed those guys.
Right.
So that's the hidden disparity with me in college football when certain programs can be across the board for 10 years, have these great players come in, go to some bowl games, maybe get a mention in the top 5, but haven't really got to the pinnacle point of a national championship. But the ones that get to the national championship, let's pull out their resume. Let's see how we got this team. How do we get here? How do we keep doing this year in and year out? And other programs can never get 1 or 2 years of doing that. That's mind-boggling.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you in that situation here and too. So what do we see in this ball game? Do we see, Chris says, "Oh, morning, fellas. Good morning, Chris. How you doing, man?" So we're getting to this ball game here. So do you have Florida actually winning this game at LSU?
Oh, man. I'm a Florida.
I'm putting you on the spot since you're. I'm gonna put you on the big spot here. I'm gonna put you in the spotlight. I'm spotlighting. I want to hear you in the spotlight. You're in the spotlight. You're in the only screen. I want to know, are you going to go against your Gators in this ball game?
I want some Gators, baby. I'm going my Florida football Gators in this game, but I'm worried about that red zone play. So I'm gonna stay real nice on this one. We're going to win this one 21-10. 21-10. It's going to be that type of game. But that red zone has me nervous. But I'm picking my Florida Gators to win this one. We're going to beat LSU. We're going to beat them Tigers, and that another excuse for Death Valley. We're going to take them.
Well, I agree with you, too. I think the Gators are a little bit more stout team. But then again, LSU defense is a little bit pretty good in Cajuns in the red zone area. If Florida gets in that red zone and can't score, I have a feeling this game could come down to field goal kicking.
Oh, God.
I have a feeling it's going to come down to field goal kicking.
I may make TMZ if that happens. Don't let no football game come down to the kicking game. Have you seen what's been going on with kickers? I think it's a pandemic of that. It is horrible. Take kickers out of football.
I think this game is really going to come down to a field goal. It's going to be a field goal game all the way through the whole game because, you're playing in front of Death Valley crowd. You're playing again in front of LSU crowd. They're going to be strong. They're going to try to pull this team through. The Gators are going to come in. We don't know what the situation is going to be with Emory Jones and Richardson. Are they going to really play the dual threat? If they play the dual threat, could cause LSU some problems because we haven't seen Richardson in a while. So that's another surprise element that Florida is going to do. And that's why I'm picking Florida to win. I'm picking Florida to win by 24-21. It's going to come down to a field goal.
That's good.
That's just what I feel right now. All right.
Penalties and the red zone. Those two things I'm going to pay attention to today.
All right. Next, number 21, Texas A&M going up into Missouri. Is this a sleeper game after that big victory against Alabama?
They playing in Columbia, Missouri?
Yep.
See, Missouri's a little party time
at 12 o'clock
before the game.
Well, this game would be at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, so those
their
kids
time.
went out.
It's 12 o'clock our time.
It's a little party town down there. Mizzou is a different team. There's a lot of things that have happened around the football program, around the campus. There's been some hype, there's been some promise, but they haven't been consistent on putting up the W with the talent that matches up what they have there. They've been in some games and also been blown out a couple of times this year. But Mizzou plays, they play A&M well, they play Florida well, and they play, who is that? Who else that they play very well? Kentucky. They play those schools well. It's other schools when the problems occur. So Jimbo Fisher is on cloud 9. But he has a really good way of bringing his players back down to reality. Then off of the high, what happened last weekend. Not to lose that composure going in this Mizzou game, because you don't want to be like, how you beat Alabama, but you go into Mizzou and lose press conference. I don't think he wants to be in that situation. But I think Mizzou is still going to try to play a tough game in the first half.
Yeah, if you look at the standings right now in the SEC East, Missouri is 0-2, Vanderbilt is 0-2, South Carolina is 0-2. Is Missouri going to come out of that 0-2, out of the O category and get their first SEC win?
I don't think the first win will be today. I think it'll be a good effort they're going to try to put forth in the first half, but I think the second half reality is going to set in. Jimbo is going to get back on his guys and remind them of what they were capable of doing based on last week's state of play.
Now, if you look at the discrepancies here, Missouri has given up 225 points this year, and they have only scored 225 themselves. So they're getting up one more point better than they were averaging against the components. So can Missouri defense stiffen up and take Texas Tech out of their game? Texas A&M out of their game today?
See, that's the thing. I'm thinking the first half is going to be more of a, let me see what we're working up here against. Is Mizzou going to come out of this game? Hey, we're playing an A&M team that beat Alabama. Is A&M going to come out of here looking at Mizzou like, hey, we beat Alabama last weekend. Let's go ahead and take care of these boys. How are we going to come out here and approach this game? If I'm Mizzou, I'm going to rely on my defense, and I know the defense has not been that great this year, but it has the capabilities of playing good football. If they can do that the first half, we got a close game in the second half, and it may come down to one possession.
Yeah, they said that Missouri has the offense to make this tougher than the that the Aggies might think, but Missouri isn't very good. Given this thing halfway before A&M's offense starts to wake up, then it's going to pound away on the Tigers' defense front. Is that what you're saying? They're going to play good in the first quarter, and then Texas A&M is going to start waking up and progress more as the game goes on?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think Mizzou is going to play a really good controlled football game in the first half, but then the second half, A&M is going to start to loosen up the wheels a little bit and go a little insane with throwing the ball.
So they got Texas A&M's favored by nine points, and over and under is 60.5. So you think Texas A&M is going to meet the 9 points and go over and if this game is both this teams going to score over 60 points?
I think that 60 is a little high. I'm going under in this matchup. Again, I don't think Texas A&M wants to be showing off today, so to speak. They appreciate what happened last week. That was last week. This is today. Let's concentrate on Mizzou today. And Mizzou can look at this like, hey, let's go out here and get our first SEC win. What do we have to do to get our first win? If they do the little things to win the game, hold on to the ball, score in the red zone, and don't and no yellow flags. Don't get any flags.
So who you got in this ball game?
I got Texas A&M. I got Texas A&M winning this one. I got Texas A&M scoring 31-21.
I got the score 34 Texas A&M, 23 Missouri.
Okay.
So that's my prediction in that game here. All right, so the last 12 o'clock game that we're going to pick will be the Nebraska at Minnesota.
Damn, I like both of these programs. I like them both. But Nebraska needs some hope. They need they need a win. They need to get a few wins in a row.
I mean, they played good last week and they lost.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they lost to Michigan by 3 points, I think? Mm-hmm. 3 or 4 points. So they played Michigan and tough, but they were playing in Lincoln. This game will be in Minnesota. It will be at the Huntington Bank Stadium, outdoor stadium in Minnesota. We know it's getting close to that time of year where it'll be nice and cold and dandy up there. And, people got to get the coats, got to bring out the heaters and the coffee. Instead of the beer, they're going to have to be drinking the coffee. The beer could be frozen.
Jameson. Yeah.
So what do you see Scott Frost at 12 o'clock, high noon? This game is about 10 o'clock, their time. It's 12 o'clock our time, So what do you think? I mean, you think Nebraska's going to be up and ready to play that game at that time in the cold?
I like Minnesota's coach. He's a very high energy coach. He reminds me of Sean McVay. He reminds me of him, so much of him. I like what he brings to them kids, the way he talks to them, the way he approaches the game. I like both of these programs, but I'm going to pull from Minnesota today. Even though I want Nebraska, I'm pulling from Minnesota today.
Well, the Golden Gophers, we don't know which team can show up. I mean, they got too many personalities here.
Yeah.
One of the things they came out and said, which team will show up? Will it be the team from last year that they had good success, or will it be the team that's been playing this year that's been underachieving with their success supposed to be under the coach? So can Scott Frost outcoach the Minnesota coach to get this victory? This is going to come down to coaching. This is going to come down to key.
And that's
who can make the changes at a halftime to lead our team to victory.
I think the players are listening more to Minnesota's head coach. I think it's PJ something.
It's PJ Fluck.
Yeah. They listen to him a little bit more. Scott Frost needs to be heard because he has not gained the attention of the program yet. I mean, they're in the room, but they're not really listening. He hasn't got that team where he needs to get them at mentally. So Minnesota coach, he can do some great things with that program. He can understands when the adjustments need to be made, or when a kid is not playing and he knows something wrong, he can do that substitution as well. He's good at that. So I'm giving Minnesota the upper hand today overall.
I forgot the minutes is coming. Chris says, I have LSU. Florida has no identity on offense.
That's a good point.
Put that are you surprised that Nebraska is 3.5 favorite in this ball game?
Very surprised. Very surprised.
They're coming in favorite. The over and under is 48 points. Who do you have winning today?
I got Minnesota winning, but I got this game being really close, like 24-17 type deal.
Well, I'm going to go and based on the performance last week, I think that performance is going to carry over. They played a highly Michigan team good all the way up to the last few seconds of the ball game. The score was close as well. I was predicting a blowout last week with Michigan going in. Nebraska kind of opened my eyes a little bit here. I think the team is probably turned to a little bit more of Scott Frost's thing, trying to play for Scott Frost. I think they really think it's going to next year is going to probably be the year to Scott Frost. Either if he wins out the rest of the season, stay in Nebraska. If he does, I think they have a pretty good recruiting class coming in with Scott Frost. I think his tenure could be turning around up in Nebraska and turning that program around. So that's just my opinion. I'm going to stay with Nebraska with a 3.5 favorite. I said they win this game 23-14.
Okay. So we're different on that. Okay.
Yep. All right, let's turn our attention to the 3:30 games here. Miami at North Carolina.
Ooh,
my team is a heckling. My team is a heckling and jive team. They played good one game, and then they turn around and play bad. They played it good again. They played the best game against Duke with the defense. But to me, I think what people don't understand is, as a North Carolina fan, I know what team causes hate and discontent for my team, and that's a team that has a running quarterback. No, if you look at all the games that Carolina has played this year, a running quarterback has hurt North Carolina, and that's what Florida State did. They really hurt them with the quarterback running the ball. You know, that's something that North Carolina's defense is not really set up for, is to contain the running quarterbacks.
Right.
So you look at it this way: Darren King is not going to be playing. They already said he's out for the year.
Yep.
So that element of a running quarterback is gone for Miami. North Carolina against a drop back quarterback that can throw the ball is more susceptible of winning games like that, because the pass rush can get to the quarterback, knowing the quarterback is not mobile enough to get away from that pass rush. Does North Carolina turn up the heat today on the pass rush and force Miami, try to have him as a running quarterback?
Yeah, I think today they can take advantage of that today, because Miami is pretty clueless on the offensive side of the ball to me this year with the quarterbacking situation. And I know Carolina is your squad, but when Carolina and Miami play each other, they always make up for an interesting matchup, whether it's in football or basketball. They interesting matchups. But I got Carolina having a big advantage today in this game.
I mean, this game is played in Keenan Memorial Stadium. Like you said, the last few years has been interesting with Miami and North Carolina, except for last year when North Carolina dominated them with the 4,000-yard running back and stuff like that. But they had a different team. This is a different team for North Carolina. See, I can be crucial about my team. Certain fan base can't be crucial about their teams, like North Carolina State fans. I don't understand them. I don't understand because when they put their power rankings up, Wake Forest is still undefeated in the ACC. They don't use the power rankings as what it's supposed to be, because Wake Forest has played a little bit of better competition than North Carolina State has so far. When they do the power rankings, they put their team up first, even with the one loss and stuff like that. But that's another topic, another day when they start playing. We'll talk a little bit more about that game. But this Miami team got good defense, is on the good defensive side. North Carolina's offensive line has struggled against a team that does stunts. Miami is a team that does not do stunts. So can North Carolina front seven, can the front line pick up their pass rushing, even though Miami doesn't do any stunts up front?
So since Miami is going to change their whole offensive scheme, more run plays and maybe short passes, I think Carolina can handle that.
Yeah, and like I said, Derek King's done after undergoing season injury, shoulder surgery. We know he came back for one reason only, to win an ACC title and try to win the national championship with Miami. Since that's gone out of the thing, what does Miami's quarterback have to do to beat North Carolina's defense this week?
That's the thing right there, because like you said, they normally have a running style quarterback, and now you want this kid to come in here and try to pick the team apart with passing plays. If the run game is not working, can they do that? And I think Carolina, their front seven is going to apply that pressure a little bit more than what he has seen. Is his second game quarterback, and I believe a third game?
This is second.
Second, yeah. So I think the game plan they're giving him probably is short passes, run the ball. Short passes, run the ball. Nothing long down the field at all. And if Carolina picks that up right away, and if they try to change up out of it, that's going to create turnovers because they didn't get prepared for it. They're going to come in with the game plan, short pass, and run the ball.
I see an interesting stat here. Miami is 0-3 when they allow more than 130 yards rushing. They're 3-0 when they don't. But North Carolina has rushed over 130 yards in every game, but lost to Georgia Tech, except they didn't rush over 130 yards game against Florida State. So that's why that stat right there is intriguing, because if North Carolina can get over that 130 yards march against Miami team does not know how to win ball games after they giving up 130 yards rushing. Is that going to be a psyche for North Carolina to hit that 130 yard march on rushing yards over with Chandler and Jones has now come back. DJ Jones, who's been out most of the season, he finally came back. His last two games, he's been rushing pretty good. So they got a dual-headed monster right now with Jones, with Tyler, Chandler, and Jones. Now, if Chandler gets involved in that passing game too, that's going to make it even tougher on Miami's linebackers. Have to be covering the running back out of the backfield.
Right.
So how do you think North Carolina will use that matchup right there to their advantage today?
Yes. I think they're going to have a field day running the ball. They may pull off almost 200 yards rushing today, about 200 yards. But, hey, I have to take a short break real quick.
Yep. We'll take a short break. We'll go to the Fox Network here. Commercials. So we'll be right back after these words.
This is the Fox D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at foxdnetwork.com.
Welcome back to the ASAP College Breakdown Show. I'm Ray Cruz. Monez had to step away for a moment. He'll be right back. We're going to continue on the show a little bit here. We're going to move on to the next topic here. I want to go in. We're going to pick this Miami North Carolina game when he gets back. So we're talking about the Miami North Carolina game. Yes, North Carolina is my team, but I'm going to tell you that they are heckling Hyde this season. They do have a pretty good season going on. Not to North Carolina standards that they were picked to be preseason number 10. I think that was kind of high for them. Starting the season off, they kept getting them a little bit more pressure than what they thought. This year, the running quarterbacks from Florida State, some of the key losses have been mobile quarterbacks who can run the ball. North Carolina's defense is not set up for a mobile quarterback. They're better set up for a drop back passer, which in Van Dyke is a drop back passer. He's not really a rusher. So if they can get him in some passing situation where they can tee off on him in the line and get into there, North Carolina can have a big day. But Miami needs to keep North Carolina not rushing the ball over 130 yards rushing. That's going to be the key magic number for the Miami defense to hang in this ball game and hang with North Carolina. Without Derek King and now the offense now has to readjust themselves to a passing quarterback, not a rushing quarterback. Derek King, the offensive presence that's around him being able to use his leg and arms at the same time to get out of trouble. Van Dyke is going to be a player that's going to be sitting there, going to be sitting to a sitting duck. If they can't get that rushing game going, and North Carolina can stop the running game. But the key for North Carolina is they got how to play better on offense. Miami does not stun up front. That could be an advantage for North Carolina because North Carolina is susceptible to a stunning front defensive line who stunts a lot, which the center is their weakest point of North Carolina's offensive line right now. The tackles, the guards are pretty stout. That line, when the guards and the center has to be coming into a stunt from that, that's going to be the key for North Carolina. If Miami does change that front to where they do stunts like Georgia Tech did, like Florida State did, like some of the key losses the other teams did stunts. Georgia Tech did stunts. North Carolina couldn't pick it up because the center and the guard couldn't talk to each other and they were susceptible to upfront stunts. So that's going to be another key for North Carolina. If Miami don't stunt, can they hold up on that front seven of Miami's pass rush? If they can keep Howell up and Saturday, and they can get the ball to downs. We know team has now been rolling double teams to downs, making other team thing for us. It's going to be Chaffee Brown's going to have to step up today. He has to catch the ball. He cannot be short arming the balls like he has in the last few games. And, that's going to be another thing. What receiver is going to step up for North Carolina? That's going to have to be the key here today. What is going to step up for North Carolina in this Miami football game? That's going to be the predecessor of the stunts here. How are they going to compete? How is North Carolina going to react to Miami's defense? Can the center, if they don't stunt, that's going to help Carolina's offensive line better. Teams have to stunt against North Carolina, has to put stunts where to put the center and the guard in some situation that the center cannot pick up. That has been the problem for North Carolina on their offensive line to keep Howell straight up. It's been they're coming up front on the stunt from the guards in that inside position. It's not been the tackles coming free half the time. It's going to be most of the sacks this year has come from that center position. So what can we see here? Monez is back here. Let me add him back to the stream here. So you got North Carolina beating Miami today?
Yep.
Yeah, me too. I think it's going to be a closer game than what people think. I think North Carolina's going to probably win it 34, maybe 27 is the score.
34-27.
Yeah. So who do you have in this volatile Pittsburgh team at Virginia Tech in Lane Stadium? Can Virginia Tech lost last week to Notre Dame in Virginia Tech? Is this going to be the same situation when Pitt comes into Virginia Tech to beat Virginia Tech in Lane Stadium? Would they go 0-2 in Lane Stadium for the last two games? Virginia Tech.
I can see Vitek pulling out of that game from last week against Notre Dame. That was a good game, by the way. That was a damn good game. But the Blacksburg crowd is something special. They can hopefully cheer these kids up and get them back in a W situation. But Pitt has a way of slowing things down for teams, too. They have a really good way of doing that.
Yeah, so, I mean, you got Pickett, who's been playing out of his mind at a quarterback position for Pitt. I mean, is he the best quarterback in the ACC or the best quarterback in college football right now?
That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing he's that deal. Like I said, this probably be the first year this late in the season we don't have a Heisman list. It hasn't been really no breakout must-see player. I haven't seen that this year. Everybody's been playing, pretty decent, but I haven't seen everybody like, hey, I can see that guy winning the Heisman. So maybe that's going to change over the next few weeks. We're going to see somebody really just push forward and show off their rare talent. But right now, he may be the best quarterback there is in college football.
And this game is at 3:30. It's in Lane Stadium at ESPN2. They're 4-1. Pitt comes in at 4-1. Virginia Tech comes in 3-2. Kenny Pickett is the exact question I asked here, and somebody's already put it in their notes. Kenny Pickett is really the Heisman race pick. To my opinion, he's up in that echelon. How it was for me at North Carolina, but he slumped down because of what's happening to the offensive line and all the turnovers that he has made some this year without ball security with fumbles and trying to force in that like Brett Favre, does in the NFL with the tight coverages and stuff like that. Spencer Rattler was in the list for a long time. As he's dropped out since that Texas game.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the Texas game that Robinson lost, he's still in the Heisman because he played great in that game. I mean,
right.
He showed it. He showed his all repertoire. I mean, he made some good moves to get that. He kept Texas in the game, helped Texas lead, but they went away from that for some no reason why they went away from Roberts because
I've only seen this kid. Sorry, go ahead.
Oklahoma couldn't keep up with him.
I'm only seeing. I haven't seen this kid play the whole game. I've only seen highlights of Pitt. I'm gonna watch that game today, and I want to see really what this kid bringing to the table than just showing me a highlight reel of everything that he's done right. Let me see the complete game, get my own understanding if he really has that Heisman conversation. But just by the highlights and his numbers, okay, let me check this kid out. Let me see if he's the real deal.
I mean, he's fifth. He's a fifth-year senior. He has been brilliant, averaging over 10 yards per pass with 19 touchdowns, passes, and just one pick. Pitt looks really like a real live contender in the ACC title chase. Virginia Tech doesn't quite have the offense to keep up with Pitt, and the Panthers attack to go off. Again, the Hokies defense has not given up over 400 yards per game so far this season. So what's going to break for Pitt? Can Pitt get that magic number? Because 400 is that magic number. Right. The only game they lost is they've been kept over 400 yards. So that magic number
with the numbers you just put about the quarterback, I mean, they have it right there. And they can run the ball. I can see them getting the 400 yards of offense that they need to be in this game and win the game. I can see them doing that.
Now, do you agree with Pitt being 5-point favorite and the over-under is 56?
See, that game in Blacksburg, that's the only thing. If it was at Pitt, okay, I'd be all for it. But it's in Blacksburg. I know they're 0-2 at home. You said that. So it's not as hostile as we think.
Yeah, they're 1-2. They're 1-2 at home. They're 0-2 in the last two games. They're 0-1 the last game there. They're 1-1 really in the season.
Right.
So if Virginia Tech loses here, that'll be the first time they have lost 2 straight at home.
Yeah, I see. That's hard for me to even pick Pitt. that's tough to beat a team up there in Tech and Blacksburg. That's a tough task. A team like Pitt to come in there. Now Notre Dame, we knew that was going to be a tough matchup. We knew that, but This one here, I'm going to have to side a little bit more with Tech.
You going with Tech? You going to Virginia Tech? Or are you really thinking about it? All right. Well, I'm going to take the other way around. I had Tech last week, and they really didn't live up to my expectation against Notre Dame. So I'm going to go with Pitt. I think Pitt's going to be too good. I think he's on a roll right now. Who do you have, Central Michigan or Toledo?
Me, Central Michigan. I rolled with them last week. I can't remember if they won or not.
No, we lost to them. We're going to both go with them again.
Damn it.
All right, Bowling Green at Northern Illinois.
NIU. Let me Romo U.
That's what I'm going with, too. Kent State and Western Michigan.
Penn State.
You going with Kent State?
Yeah. Kent State. Yeah, Kent State, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with Western Michigan. They're playing at home. So I gave you another game. I know a few games for you to try to catch back up with me. Arizona and Colorado.
Give me the Buffaloes.
You're taking Buffaloes at home.
Yeah, Colorado.
I'm gonna do the same here. Fresno and Wyoming.
Give me them Cowboys of Wyoming.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Fresno. I think Fresno is gonna come in mad because they were ranked. Now they're not ranked. I think they're gonna come in mad after that BYU loss. All right, so now this is your favorite right here. You have the two winless teams with the SEC overall record. You have Vanderbilt, that is 0-2 in SEC play. You have South Carolina, who is 0-2 in Southeastern Conference play. Who do you have in this one? Who's going to win that first Southeastern Conference game today?
What we playing at?
We're playing at that stupid stadium downtown in Columbia.
I'm going with the Gamecocks. I did that because I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that about the stadium.
I think South Carolina's better. I still don't like the stadium. It ain't the reason I'm picking them because they're playing in the Tola Bowl Stadium. I'm picking them because they're a better team than Vanderbilt.
Yes, they are. They definitely a better football team this year.
All right, we got Texas Tech going into Kansas, to Lawrence, Kansas.
Give me Texas Tech Red Raiders.
Yeah, give me Texas Tech too. Kansas is a basketball school.
That's it.
You know. So, all righty. Rice at UTSA.
Let's go with UTSA, University of Texas San Antonio. Let's do it.
You should have gone with them last week. You would have won.
Should have.
I'm going with them too, since I won with them last week. You know. All righty. How about Liberty and UL Monroe, Louisiana Monroe?
Ooh, I like both of those schools.
They're playing in Louisiana now.
I'm going to go with Louisiana Monroe. I like them people down there. Shout out to Shreveport. Polk City in the building.
Well, I'm going to go with the team out of Roanoke, Virginia, and Liberty. I think the God's going to be with them.
Uh-oh.
So, all right, Colorado State and New Mexico.
Colorado State. I think I went with New Mexico last week. I'm going to stay with them again.
Colorado State won last week. I think they're going to continue their winning ways. So I'm going with them. I'll give you another game. There's 2 straight games you got to pick up on me. How about the Utah State and UNLV?
Give me UNLV. Give me some unlove in the building. University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
Yeah, I'm going to go with them too. TCU and number 4, Oklahoma.
See, it's TCU and Baylor. Every year they get put in a position where they can hurt a team or help themselves. They get in one of those games. This is one of those games. TCU can put up a lot of points, and we can definitely say that about Oklahoma. Oklahoma has no defense. No defense whatsoever. That's scary because TCU can throw up some points. I got the Horned Frogs winning this one in an upset.
So it will be an upset because they're playing in Norman, Oklahoma. So,
but kind of a home game for them, yeah.
So I think number 4 has got the right quarterback. I think Spencer Rattler is gone. I think Williams is the right quarterback for Oklahoma, and they play better for him. I think Oklahoma's going to win this ball game. Number 13, Ole Miss goes into Knoxville, Tennessee, which Tennessee put up 62 points last week. Can we see the same output?
Hey, he's trying to light up the board. I don't think Ole Miss has that in them to hang with a team that has the potential to put up 60 points. I'm riding with this Tennessee Vols, man. I'm riding with the checkerboard. Riding with them.
So you got them. Yeah. I don't know. This is going to be an interesting game because, Ole Miss just barely beat Arkansas. They lost. They got killed by Alabama. Can Kiffin hasn't come out and say, get your popcorn ready for this ball game. I think he learned from that mistake. So I think Josh Heupel's got Tennessee rolling, but I don't think they got them rolling back all the way right now. I think it's going to take another year maybe. So I'm going to ride with Ole Miss going in there with a 1-point upset.
Ole Miss.
So number 22, North Carolina State versus Boston College up in Chestnut Hill in Boston, Massachusetts.
I've been there. I've been to Chestnut Hill. Let me go with BC, man. Let me Boston College. Let me ride with the Eagles.
I'm going to go BC too because I'm going to piss all my North Carolina State friends off.
You have North Carolina State friends?
Yes. I got a sister as a North Carolina State fan.
Oh, man, you can't help that.
So how about Iowa State versus Kansas State in Kansas State, the versus of the states?
I used to rock with K-State when Michael Bishop was the quarterback back in the day. I used to love that offensive scheme that they had, but those days are long gone. So give me Iowa State.
You're going to go with the Cyclones. I'm going with the Cyclones too. Stanford at Washington State.
Ooh. See, the Cardinals confuse me, man. They have all the makeup, the coaching, the facility, the technology. They have it to be in the top every year, but something happens with that program. I can't explain it. But I'm going with Stanford in this one. I'm going to pull for them.
Stanford going up to Washington State and win. I agree with you too. I like
Coach is credited with creating that VR program that everybody uses now to help quarterbacks in concussion protocol. That's a pretty neat piece of technology that they have.
All right. How about Army going into Camp Randall and play Wisconsin?
Wisconsin.
Yeah, I can't go against Wisconsin. I like, the Army is the military, but there's a different strategy here. I think Wisconsin is gonna have the best defense than the Army this time. So I think Wisconsin calls the Wisconsin National Guard to win this ball game with them. So UCLA at Washington.
UCLA is not back to me yet. Give me Washington.
You gonna take Washington? I'm taking UCLA.
Wait a minute, Chip Kelly there, right?
Yep.
Give me UCLA.
All right. Change your pick there real quick.
Yeah. I forgot. That's Chip Kelly. I ain't betting against him.
You did last week, and you got backfired.
Sometimes I can call him, but I'm feeling this one today.
All right. Louisiana Tech at UTEP.
Woo! Give me some La Tech all day.
I'm going to stay with UTEP. UTEP won last week for me, so I'm going to stay with them. They're playing at home, too. Air Force at Boise State.
Ooh, Boise State.
Last week you said the Air Force weren't going to take the Air Force strike and win, but they did. So now what we're going to have? We got Boise State that won last week against BYU.
Yeah, I got Boise State.
Yeah, Boise State on the blue turf.
Yeah, buddy. Old blue bonnet.
I think the Air Force come in with the Air Force, fire the jets, and just tee off on them. So, all righty. Herm Edwards, number 18, Arizona State, goes into Utah.
What was my man name that was on the show with us? Jay?
Jay.
In honor of Jay, I'm pulling for Arizona State. Herm Edwards.
I'm going with Herm Edwards, too.
Win the game.
I'm going with Herm Edwards, too, because I can't stay in Utah because my ex-wife's brother went there, so,
Wait a minute now. Wait a minute.
So.
You don't like them because your ex-wife brother went there?
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful.
Yeah. Anything with my ex-wife's family, I can't go with. Sorry. All right. Hawaii versus Nevada.
Ooh. Give me Hawaii. 808 in the building.
Hawaii's going to go to Nevada win. I'll give you two too. I love Hawaii. I like living out there. Not full time, but I like it out there. But
I lived out there for 4 years. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I did too. All righty. So our game of the week we're going to talk about here. We got a little while to talk about them. I got enough enough time to get it in here. We're going to talk about the Georgia Bulldogs versus Kentucky, 5-0 versus 5-0. Number one of the SEC East. The winner of this game will take the East.
This is going to be one. I hope the game lives up to the hype.
Well, it's between the second hitches, not the real original hitches. North Carolina's got the original hitches, you know.
This is I mean, Kentucky is in unfamiliar territory right now with the football program. To me, this is quite a team they have here. Quite a team. They put together on the offense side, defensive side. Everybody seems to be buying in on what they're doing. The enthusiasm with the players is what you love to see. It's like they love getting ready to execute plays on the offensive side. On the defensive side of the ball, they love going after the ball. And that's going to be key today. Whoever creates whoever has the advantage in turnovers are going to win the game. That's me. That's what I'm thinking on with Kentucky coming into this game. But the mindset for Georgia's been here before. But this other team would ruin them for them every time. That's called Alabama. They don't have to worry about Alabama now. The ball is in their court now. It's in their court. They have the people they want to invite over for the meal, and they got the meal preparing in the oven. All they waiting on now is just to eat.
Would you like to see this game not still at 3:30 be a primetime game?
Yeah, I wish it was a primetime game. I really do. Because my television schedule watching today is off the chart. I'm not going to be able to see the game the way I want to. I wish the game was at nighttime because I have my high school homecoming today. And
so you say you want to watch the Virginia Tech game and Pittsburgh game all the way through. Well, if you want to watch this game, you want to watch that game, you got to miss this game.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to record 3 games today and just watch them tomorrow.
Well, I look at it this way. If you have a TV network that gets the ESPN watch thing, that'd be the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Throw up 3 computer screens, put the 3 games you want to see on your computer screen, put a TV in your room, put 3 TVs up, put them all on the TV, and you sit there like a news station, watch all the games and stuff like that, pick up which one.
Oh, that's how I do now. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I had 6 televisions. Plus my phone, so there's 7. So I set up like that and just watch all the games that way. Anyway.
Yeah, I have 3 computer screens in this room, and I don't have no TVs in this room. I'm hoping when I move, I can put a TV in my office and set that up as a TV network studio where I can watch all the games because I got a Hulu. I can put Hulu on every screen and watch the games that way myself. We're talking about this team here. Now, I'm looking at the SEC right now. I'm looking at Kentucky. Kentucky scored 113 points. They're giving up only 72 points total in their SEC play. Georgia has scored 173 points and only giving up 23 points to SEC teams. Overall, Georgia's only given up 33 points, but they have outscored their opponents 239-33. Kentucky has outscored their opponents 186-105. So, is this going to be a defensive battle today?
For sure, but Kentucky's going to try to run the ball to establish the run, but you can't run the ball against Georgia, not with success. So that's going to be the challenge in ordeal. If they can run the ball against Georgia, and if they are able to do that, it's going to be pretty interesting to see if they can pull that off. But if they can't run the ball, we already know what Georgia's secondary and linebackers can do. They are fast beyond fast.
Yeah, they made a mistake. I was reading somebody's notes. Somebody said JT Bennett. It's not JT Bennett. It's JT Daniels. Since the injury to JT Daniels, Bennett has stepped in and has played pretty good. They said the key for Bennett today is not to help Kentucky's defense out by throwing an interception. If he can avoid throwing an interception, do you think Georgia's offense is going to be more successful today against Kentucky. Does Kentucky have to force at least 2 or 3 picks today?
Yes, but that's going to be pretty hard to do because Georgia plays pretty disciplined offensive style football. They go the safety way when it comes to their offense. I don't think they do anything too sexy or too flashy. They keep it basic. But I think the biggest concern to me is Kentucky, will they have the ability to run the ball the way they want to? Because Georgia's defense is something else on stopping the run, especially.
Yeah, that's going to be the key. To me, I look at 2 different keys here. You picked the one, the key I had was the rushing offense for Kentucky against the rushing defense of Georgia. Mm-hmm. The other key is Georgia's passing attack against Kentucky's pass defense. If Bennett gets off to a good start like he did against Arkansas, that's going to make Georgia even a dangerous team today.
Yes.
Now, did you?
Yeah, that's a great point. If they're able to do that, yeah.
Now, Georgia's got a running game too. So now, if Bennett gets off on a good start, you got a double monster here. And when a team gets a double monster like Georgia, they just pound on you.
They can put some points on the board then, buddy. Long day, as we call it in the office. Long day.
So they're playing up in Athens, up in Sanford Field. The second coming of the Hedges, not the first, because North Carolina's their first. I don't care what nobody says about Georgia. They copy North Carolina with putting the Hedges in there. I'm sorry.
Athens, Georgia, you hear that?
Yeah. You know, you can come back at them all you want to because North Carolina had them Hedges since Kenan Stadium opened up. So they added their Hedges, you know. But, you know, anyway, so we're looking at 2 different things here, you know, the passing attack and the rushing attack. But what receiving core is going to go off today? It's got to be a receiver on one of these teams got to go off today. To put,
well, we saw what Kentucky receivers can do. We saw in the past few weeks what they're able to do, and they can actually create plays and extend plays. I like that. That's that little Sunday little football knowledge they seem to put together and figured out over there. But Georgia's real stingy. See, that's a lot of work. That has to be a lot of time in the pocket, which you don't have when you're playing Georgia. So that's another thing I'm going to keep eye on. How much time we're going to have in the pocket to complete a pass? We got to hurry up. That's a pass to the running back out of the backfield, some tight ends, and some quick slants. But getting time in the pocket is going to be key for Kentucky to have a exceptional or a positive passing game today.
Yeah, I look at it this way too. If Stetson Bennett gets off, because I think that's what Georgia's going to end up doing first. They're going to try to get him off going to a good start. So, in the first few plays, I would like to see some, they'll probably see some screens or something to get his confidence going. Because once he gets his confidence going, then you got unbelievable what Stetson Bennett can do. And then Nate said, yeah, I'm focused on watching multiple games at once too. So, yeah, we all agree. We were all going to watch.
Yeah, I can't watch one game. I can't operate like that.
Well, I got my cell phone here. So I'm going to put one game on there. I'm going to put 3 games on these screens up here today. And then pick which games I'm going to watch. I know I'm going to watch the North Carolina game all the way through. That's a 3:30 game. So, I'll probably put Georgia on my phone without sounds and sit there and watch a little bit of it too. So,
that's what I'm gonna do with the Florida game.
Yeah. So if you look at these things here, 2 things: if Stetson Bennett can not throw interception, get off to a good start, the running attack is going to come in because you got a 2-headed monster, really a 3-headed monster for Georgia. Because it's just a rushing attack and stuff. But also that Georgia defense turns the ball, gets the other team turn the ball over, they get short field too. That will help out Stetson Bennett even more. So how many times will you see Georgia get short field advantage over Kentucky today?
Better field position? How many times? Is that it?
Yeah, went off picks, interception, short field, turn the ball over.
Turnover. I can see Georgia creating 3 turnovers today. But here's something I totally forgot about. The special teams of Kentucky and Georgia, meaning punt return and kick return, they both are dangerous.
Yeah.
They both are pretty dangerous on that right there. I could see a kick return or a punt return today too.
I can see that too. I can probably see that too. But how many times will you see? How many times you will see Kentucky's coach blow up and turn really red?
If they get to playing Kentucky football, other than what they're doing now, this team is playing incredible right now. Incredible. They're out of character right now. They're in uncharted waters. This is not normally what happens with the football team. It usually happens with the basketball team, the baseball team, the women's volleyball team, things of that nature. But here, I could see him losing his cool in the first quarter. I mean, somebody's not listening and taking advantage of the opportunities. A man falls down and you don't hit the open receiver. You're not going to get that twice.
Now, is this the wrong time for Kentucky to play Georgia because they're coming off that big win against Florida? Could this be another letdown game from Kentucky?
No, this is the perfect timing for them to play each other. I like this setup. I like the timing of the day they're doing. I like the venue. All of this smells and sounds juicy television to me. This matchup right here. This isn't a lucky 5-0 team playing a lucky 5-0 team. These are two SEC teams that happen to be undefeated. Coming at it.
Now, are you surprised that Kentucky and Georgia are the last two undefeated teams in the SEC?
Yes. Not Georgia as much as I'm about Kentucky.
Yeah, if you look at the SEC here, I mean, the East, you got two teams that are 4-0 in the SEC. You got Tennessee, who's 2-1, and then your Gators are 2-2. You know, even your Gators beat Tennessee. It's the only loss that Tennessee has in the SEC. Tennessee hasn't gone through the gauntlet yet. You know, that gauntlet's starting to come around. Then you got the last half, the three last half was Missouri, Vanderbilt coming 0-2, and South Carolina coming in 0-3. But two of those teams going to have one win coming out. All three of them might have one win. No, two of them can have one. You know, only two of them can come out.
Right.
Will Vanderbilt be the basement cellar of the SEC?
Yes, that football program is in repair.
So yeah, they're in 2-4. So now we're looking at this. We're looking at these matchups here, and we're looking at the stuff. Kentucky's only played. They only played one road game. Is that hard to believe? They only played one road game so far this year.
Holy crap! How's that possible? How's that even possible?
I'm looking at the schedule there. They're 5-0 at home.
Wow.
And they're 1-0 on the road. They have won 6 straight games. Georgia's coming in 6 straight games. Georgia's played 2 road games. They're 2-0 on the road and 3-0 at home.
That's crazy. They play 5 games at home. That is wild.
Yeah.
And that's only October. Wow. It's already October.
This is their second road game, but this is a true venue road game. You're going into a hostile territory in Georgia, and you're going into where these guys are dressing up in shoulder pads with spikes, look like the Road Warriors.
Some of the fans look like they want to get in the game and play. Coach, I'm ready over here if you need me.
So, is playing in a hostile environment in Georgia, and you don't get off to a good start? That's a case for really to be a disaster day for you.
Yeah, that's what the home crowd want to do. They want to cause havoc and turmoil and controversy and nervousness. They want to cause all of that. But if Kentucky is able to keep their composure and understand the situation that they're in, you're talking about a party that's going to be heard all the way in Kentucky from St. Louis. They're going to be partying. If they beat others.
When we talk about this, could this be a letdown game for Kentucky? Could be a trap game for Georgia looking ahead to that Florida Georgia battle?
I don't think Georgia coaches are allowing that type of terminology to be even talked about in the locker room. I got a funny feeling they're taking that. That sounds a little nonchalant, a little scripted, but I think that's what they're really doing. You can tell when some programs are looking forward to the game ahead when they should be concentrating on the task at hand right now. Because if you get out of character and get to thinking about that game, you can let something happen in this game. Now we've already lost it now. Yeah, now we're behind 17-3.
I was looking at Kentucky's schedule. The only road game they played was at South Carolina where they won 16-10. And then they got this is Kentucky's. They got Georgia today, they got Mississippi State, and they got Tennessee the next 3 games.
That's a tough road. That's tough.
So
3 weeks ago, I'd have said, okay, you can easily win that game against Tennessee. Easily.
Yeah, I forgot to look at something real quick. Let me bring that schedule back up because that schedule is interesting here. Because you're looking at it here. They're on the road today. They're on the road against Mississippi State. They go back home against Tennessee. Then they go to Vanderbilt. They have to go to Vanderbilt. Then they go to New Mexico State comes to Kentucky. And then Kentucky finishes off at Louisville. So they got 1, 2, 3, 4. They got 4 road games in their second half of the schedule.
Wow.
And they only have 1, 2 home games in the second half of their schedule.
Wow. We're playing that. Goodness.
Yeah, they had right versus the first time they only had 1 road game and rest home games. So now the question is this going to be a hard if they lose this game here today, and possibly they could pick up another loss at Mississippi State.
Yep. They could pick up potentially 3 losses in a row.
Yeah, before they can get back to a team that's going to be halfway there. Yeah. And then they could lose out to Louisville.
Most definitely. Passing you. Yeah.
So if you look at it today, if they lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I see possibility only winning 1 game in the second half.
Wow. That'll be a story to be told if Kentucky at 1 point 5-0.
And the only game I can see them actually really winning is that Vanderbilt game. Even that New Mexico State game.
They got 6 games remaining. They got 6 games left.
They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they got this game and 5 more.
Wow. So they could potentially end up with a 500 or a losing record.
Yeah.
Wow, that is wild to think about. So they got Kentucky coaches got to be on point today. I hope practice went the way they wanted to go.
Now, if they didn't have a good day of practice, you know what they say. If you don't have a good day of practice, a good week of practice, you don't play good in games.
That is.
So let's look at the Georgia schedule here. Let me bring their schedule up real quick here.
Yeah, we can
because we know. Yeah. Yeah. Let's bring this up and then we'll pick a game and get out of here.
Okay.
Let's see here. They got Kentucky. The following game is that they get a week off. The following game is the next game after that is number 20 Florida in Jacksonville. They'll be in Missouri. Missouri comes to Athens. They got to go to Knoxville on the 13th of November, and they finish out with Charleston at home, and then they go to Georgia Tech.
See, they can run the table. Georgia could run the table.
And I think that
Georgia depends on how they take this game today against Kentucky. I want to see the style of play, the pace. Is the defense still going to be as stingy as they've been all year? Or this could be that pivotal game where things are not quite working the way Georgia wants to. And Kentucky goes up in there running the ball and get $125 or $150 in rushing today. That could be something.
Yeah, I think too. This Georgia Tech game is in the new stadium up in Atlanta. So they get to go into Atlanta and look at that stadium and get the nuance, and then they turn around and come back and possibly play the SEC championship game in the same building. So that gives and it'll be back-to-back games in that building. So whoever comes out of that West, like Alabama has already played in there once but they played it early of the season. But now you got Georgia's coming back and playing back-to-back games in the same stadium. So
didn't it happen one year that Georgia and Alabama played a game and Alabama beat them? Then they went to the SEC championship and Alabama beat them again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you look at it here, the possibility this could be a trap game for Georgia because if they overlook for the Florida game the following week, or if they get past Kentucky and Florida, Do you think Tennessee or Missouri have a chance of beating them? I don't think Georgia Tech has a chance of beating them, and I don't think Charleston Southern has a chance of beating them.
Tennessee has shown us that they like to put points on the board all kind of ways. They want to try to light up the scoreboard like 80 style. And Georgia's ready for that. See, the thing about Georgia, if you can't expose, if you don't have a running game against them, it's going to be a tough 4 quarters for you. Tough.
Right. And if you look at it, too, that game is in Knoxville, Tennessee.
100,000. Sold out.
Yep. So we're getting to the tail end. We're in overtime here. We're on the 25. We're going into the end zone here. Who do you have in this Kentucky and Georgia game?
Give me Georgia. But I got this game being close, not a blowout. I got this game being very close, like a 30-23.
Well, I have it being a blowout. I have it 34-13.
What's the score?
34-13. Georgia is favored by 23 points in this ball game.
All right.
And the over and under is 44.5. So
44.5.
Yep.
Well, they fired up down there for that game already.
So get everything set up here. So, it's been great here today. We've been over 3 hours here. We had Jay come on. Thanks to Jay. Thanks to Freddie popping on real quick, talking about his roll ties and trying to put the roll ties out there. I had to cut him off for that, the second time. I allowed him the first time. The second time, that doesn't go on this show. So, this has been Dre and Ray. This has been the ASAP College Sports Breakdown here of the College Breakdown Show. We'll see you next week with some more football games, and we don't know if we're gonna have any surprises. So this show is full of surprises. So
gotcha.
Yeah, have a good weekend, man.
I appreciate it, boss.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of